everyone. You're welcome again to Young Prof Student Forum, a platform where we teach you the relevant subjects in preparation for your WAEC, NECO, GICSE, NAPTEB, and many other examinations. Today, I want to discuss government as one of the vital subjects for the art students. And the topic I'm looking at is arms and levels of government. These topics have been one of those topics that they select for students preparing for JAMB, WAEC, NECO, and other exams in government and civic education, to be precise. What is arms of government? Arms of government can be defined as those three basic bodies which helps in the operation of government. There are those selected bodies that helps in piloting the affairs of the government. Note, the arms of government can also be called organs of government. In case in examination condition, someone should ask you, which other name can you call the arms of government? It is either you call it the arms of government or you call it organs of government. Basically, there are three main organs of government. Number one, we have the executive arm of government. The executive arm of government. Number two, we have the legislative arm of government. The legislative arm of government. And number three, we have the judicial arm of government. The judicial arm of government. Now, what is the executive arm of government? The executive arm of government is that arm of government charged with the responsibility of implementing the laws of the Constitution. There are the law implementers. They implement the policies and execute the programs of the government. Note, the police, civil defense, etc. can all be classified under the executive arm of government. The symbol of authority for the executive arm of government is called whip. In case in examinations, they ask you what is the symbol of authority for the executive arm of government. The symbol of authority for the executive is usually called the whip. Note, the executive arm of government is divided into two. We have what we call the unicephalous executive. The unicephalous executive. And we have what we call the bicephalous executive. The bicephalous executive. Any type of executive that operates on a single legislative authority, that arm of government is called a unicephalous executive. I repeat, the type of executive that operates on a single legislative authority is called a unicephalous executive. But any type of executive that operates on a double legislative authority, that type of executive is called bicephalous executive. Another name for the unicephalous executive is called single executive. But the bicephalous executive is otherwise known as dual executive. Take note of that. Number two, the legislative arm of government. The legislative arm of government is that arm of government charged with the responsibility of making laws. This arm of government is known as the lawmakers. They make laws which is usually interpreted by the judicial arm of government. Note, the legislative arm of government is divided into two. We have what we call the unicameral legislature, and number two, we have bicameral legislature. What is a unicameral legislature? A unicameral legislature is that type of legislature that operates in one chamber. Any type of legislature that operates in one chamber is called a unicameral legislature. But any type of legislature that operates in two chambers is called a bicameral legislature. Now, the bicameral legislature is divided into two chambers. We have what we call the upper chamber and we have what we call the lower chamber. The upper chamber is known as the House of Senate. The House of Senate, which contains 109 members. But the bicameral legislature is known as the House of Representatives. It's known as the House of Representatives. And the House of Representatives contains 360 members. 360 members. 360 members. And that is the upper chamber and the lower chamber. Now, lastly, we have the judicial arm of government. But before I proceed, you should know that the legislative arm of government, the symbol of authority for the legislatures is called MACE. M-A-C-E, MACE. Any type of legislature that operates in upper chamber is known as the House of Senate, whereas the lower chamber is known as the House of Rep. And the symbol of authority for the legislatures is called MACE. M-A-C-E, MACE or MACE per se. Now we have the judicial arm of government. What is the judicial arm of government? The judicial arm of government is that arm of government charged with the responsibility of interpreting the laws of the Constitution. They are known as the lawmakers, as the law interpreters. They interpret and apply the law when the need arises. Note, in case if you are being asked in an examination, which arm of government is known as the last hope of the common man, or which arm of government is known as the mouthpiece of the common man, it is the judicial arm of government. Reason being that they interpret the laws of the Constitution. They interpret and apply the law when the need arises. So, there are the law interpreters, the last hope of the common man, and as well the mouthpiece of the common man. The judicial arm of government is divided into two. We have what we call members of the bar. Members of the bar, and we have what we call members of the bench. Members of the bench. The members of the bar are usually called lawyers. Members of the bar are called lawyers, while members of the bench are called magistrates or judges. Magistrates or judges. Note, the symbol of authority for the judicial arm of government is called gavel. The gavel is the symbol of authority for the judicial arm of government. Among the three main arms of government, the judicial arm of government is made totally independent. What is independence of the judiciaries? Independence of the judiciaries is the rights and protection given to members of the judiciaries under the law to enable the judges decide cases before them without fear or favor. I repeat, independence of the judiciaries is the rights and protection given to members of the judiciaries under the law to enable the judges decide cases before them without fear or favor. To get more videos like this, follow me on my Facebook page by clicking on Young Prof Student Forum. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a follow on Facebook and TikTok by clicking Young Prof Student Forum. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Follow me on my Facebook page. For registration of WAEC, NECO, GCE, NAPTEP, and intensive classes, I am the director of Boiling Point Tutorials. We register WAEC, NECO, JAM, GCE, and other examinations with outstanding performance. Call me through the following mobile numbers: 070-3723-0220. I repeat, 070-3723-0220. Thank you and have a wonderful day.